Episode 19. Meanwhile, Ken discovers the truth behind the fake passport scandal. After investigating, he learns that Sihan has secretly been organizing the illegal entry of undocumented immigrants into Serhat's hotel, putting both the business and Serhat's reputation at risk. Elsewhere, Zeynep prepares for a job interview at a private school. Although the school is looking for experienced teachers, she decides to try her luck anyway. Before leaving, Rifika wishes her good luck and asks her to speak to Azra so she will stop visiting Mustafa. Zeynep refuses, insisting Mustafa can deal with his own problems. On her way, she meets Serhat. He explains that he deliberately came looking for her because he wants to bring both her and Kader back to the mansion. Zeynep immediately refuses. She reminds him that he no longer even lives there himself and questions why she should return to a house where he isn't there. Serhat insists Kader belongs with Barak and should accept her responsibilities as a mother. Zeynep strongly disagrees, pointing out that Barak has done the exact opposite by preventing Kader from speaking to her. Before she walks away, Serhat stops her one last time to explain that nothing ever happened between him and Sadef. Meanwhile, Sihan finds Barak chatting with Azra. After Barak leaves, Azra confronts Sihan and asks whether he spent the morning with Ebru after hearing about it from Barak. Sihan warns Azra never to raise her voice at him again. When she accuses him of cheating, he replies that if she keeps pushing him he may eventually do exactly that, but reassures her that, for now, every corner of his heart still belongs to her. Later that day, Hayal suddenly faints at school. Instead of calling Serhat, she asks the teachers to contact Zeynep. When Zeynep arrives, she notices Hayal looks pale and weak. After promising not to tell anyone, Hayal confesses that she secretly bought diet pills online and has been taking them for a week. Horrified, Zeynep explains that those pills are dangerous and could seriously harm her health. When she asks why she would do such a thing, Hayal quietly admits that she wanted to lose weight because her mother kept telling her she needed to slim down and she was afraid people would make fun of her. Zeynep is furious but Hayal begs her not to tell anyone. Zeynep makes her promise never to take another pill again. Zeynep immediately phones Serhat and angrily tells him he must protect his daughters from Barak before she destroys them emotionally. If returning home is what it takes, then he should do it. Back at the mansion, Hayal tells Barak that she followed every instruction she gave her during the therapy session. Barak tells Hayal she can ask for anything she wants. Hayal asks for a slice of pizza. Barak agrees but places an old photo album in front of her. She shows Hayal photographs of herself before losing weight and warns her that if she wants to avoid looking like that, she must continue watching her figure. The cruel manipulation works immediately. Hayal says she has changed her mind and leaves. A short while later, Ilkam happily tells her mother she wants to give Kader some of her old skirts because they no longer fit her. Rather than praising her kindness, Barak discourages her, saying she expected such behavior from Hayal since she is weak. She tells Ilkam not to become attached to people beneath their social class because Kader is merely the daughter of one of their employees. Later, Sihan confronts Barak for deliberately making Azra think he was cheating. Barak calmly replies that she is tired of being treated as the only immoral person in the family and believes everyone else's secrets should be exposed too. Sihan warns her that she has already lost and should simply sign the divorce papers, but Barak refuses, declaring that the game has only just begun. Meanwhile, Ken arranges a meeting between himself, Serhat and Sihan after capturing one of the men involved in the fake passport operation. Before the frightened man can reveal who hired him, Ken publicly accuses Sihan of masterminding the scheme that nearly destroyed Serhat's hotel. Sihan immediately denies everything and tries to shift the attention by suggesting that Ken might actually be Kader's biological father. Furious, Ken punches him. The brothers begin fighting until Serhat separates them. Demanding the truth, Serhat orders the man to identify the person responsible. Just as the man is about to speak, A motorcycle speeds past. One of the men has a gun who makes a shot. Meanwhile, Kader falls asleep after lighting a candle inside the house. The candle falls onto the tablecloth, quickly starting a fire that spreads through the room. Zeynep throws the trash and goes to see Kader, but she sees the house is burning down. Realizing Kader is trapped inside, she rushes towards the building and desperately calls her name. Kader wakes up unable to open the door. Zeynep grabs a large stone and smashes the window before guiding Kader through the opening. Terrified, Kader begs Zeynep not to leave her. Holding back her own fear, Zeynep promises she will never abandon her before carrying the frightened little girl safely out of the burning house. Zeynep takes Kader to Serhat's mansion. Barak asks what they are doing here. Zeynep tells Barak that giving birth to Kader is not enough to make her a mother. She declares that Kader will stay by her side from now on because her guilt and cruelty have already hurt the little girl enough. Zeynep also tells Barak that she is not leaving because she refuses to let her continue destroying Kader, Hayal and Ilkim's lives. Serhat is demanding that the receptionist finally reveal who ordered him to bring the people with fake passports into the hotel when a motorcycle suddenly approaches with two men on it. The man on the motorcycle pulls out a gun. Sihan spots him and immediately calls Serhat's name. Serhat turns around, while Khan also desperately calls out to both his brothers. Realizing the gunman is aiming at Serhat, Sihan reacts without thinking. He throws himself in front of his brother just as the gunman fires. The bullet hits Sihan instead. Khan immediately runs after the motorcycle, desperately trying to catch the attackers, while Serhat rushes to Sihan's side. Serhat asks whether he is okay as Sihan struggles with the gunshot wound. Barak is furious to see the Kader and Zeynep back. She reminds Kader that she promised to remain with Tulay and Erkan and coldly tells her that she does not like children who break their promises. Zeynep cannot believe what she is hearing. She asks Barak how she can possibly exploit a child's love for her own mother like this. Calling Barak heartless, Zeynep reminds her that Kader almost died tonight. Barak dismissively tells Zeynep that the matter is between her and Kader, but Zeynep refuses to remain silent. Khan eventually returns, frustrated that he could not catch the motorcycle. Serhat tells him to forget about the attackers for now because Sihan needs help. Despite his condition, Sihan insists that there is something important he needs to tell Serhat. Serhat refuses to let him exhaust himself and calls for an ambulance. Khan also helps get emergency assistance while Sihan continues trying to speak. Sihan tells Serhat that he does not want to die before telling him the truth. Serhat keeps telling him not to tire himself out. The ambulance finally arrives. Just as Sihan is about to reveal the identity of Kader's father, he loses consciousness before he can say the name. Zeynep tells Barak that the people she entrusted Kader to left her alone in the house. A fire broke out while Kader was asleep, and when Zeynep arrived, the child was still inside. That if she had not arrived, Kader might not have survived. Only then does Barak ask Kader whether she is okay. Kader says she is fine. Zeynep immediately disagrees. Kader is not fine. What she needs is for her mother to hug her, kiss her and make her feel safe after everything she has been through. Barak tells Zeynep that enough is enough and that she will not take motherhood lessons from her. Zeynep fires back that Barak could never learn how to be a mother even if she tried to teach her because she simply does not have it in her. She also reveals that she knows Kader lovingly made Barak a necklace, only for her to throw it in the rubbish. Still refusing to accept responsibility, Barak says she will speak with Tulay. That only makes Zeynep angrier, claiming that there will be no discussion with Tulay as Kader is staying at the mansion, and she will remain there with her. Barak insists that is impossible and says she cannot keep Kader in the house. Zeynep reminds her that the mansion belongs to Serhat, not her. With the argument settled as far as she is concerned, Zeynep picks Kader up and takes her upstairs to the room where they previously stayed. Once they are alone, Kader worries that her mum is angry with her for returning. She tells Zeynep that she had promised her mother she would remain at Tülay and Erkan's house and now feels guilty because she broke her promise. Zeynep reassures her that this is her home and she has every right to be there. She tells Kader that mothers love their children regardless of what happens and explains that Berrak is simply angry about something else. Trying to lift her spirits, Zeynep asks Kader to smile. Hayal and İlkem enter the room. Hayal immediately hugs Kader and tells her how much she missed her. Kader happily says she missed her too. İlkem points out that their mother said Kader and Zeynep would not be returning. Zeynep simply explains that they changed their minds. İlkem admits that is probably a good thing because the mansion had become very quiet without them. Realizing what she means, Zeynep teasingly asks whether İlkem is actually happy they are back. İlkem admits she's little bit happy. Zeynep calls her over for a hug, but İlkem is not interested in hugs and instead reaches out to shake Zeynep's hand. Unknown to them, Berrak watches the warm reunion from the doorway before quietly walking away. Tülay is devastated by what has happened to the house while Erkan complains about their destroyed television. Tülay cannot believe that he is worrying about the TV when they do not even have a couch left to sit on. Berrak suddenly calls. She tells Tülay that she asked her to take good care of Kader as she almost died today. Tülay tries to defend herself, insisting the fire was an accident and something like that could happen to anyone. She assumes Zeynep has caused trouble again. Berrak tells her that Zeynep brought Kader back to the mansion because she could not even take proper care of the child for a few days. Tülay promises that she and Erkan will come and collect Kader in the morning. Berrak refuses as there is no way she can send Kader back to a house where her safety cannot be guaranteed and calls them incompetent. However, Berrak has another reason for calling. She remembers what Zeynep said about Kader's handmade necklace. Berrak tells Tülay that Kader made her a necklace which she threw in the trash and orders her to find it and return it. At the hospital, Can gives his statement to the police. He explains that someone had entered their hotel in Antalya illegally using a fake passport. They reported the situation and eventually located the receptionist who had registered the people involved. Can, Serhat and Sihan were questioning him because they wanted to identify the mastermind behind the operation. Before the receptionist could reveal anything, two people arrived on a black motorcycle and opened fire, shooting Sihan. The police ask whether Can saw the attackers clearly or managed to see the motorcycle's license plate. Can says he did not. All he knows is that the motorcycle was black. The police then ask about the receptionist. Can tells them that the receptionist escaped after the looting. The officers tell him they will also need Serhat's statement. Can explains that Serhat has gone to pick their mother, Sevim, and Sihan's wife, Azra. Can then approaches the doctor for news about his brother. The doctor explains that Sihan has suffered a serious gunshot wound. The bullet damaged his arteries, causing severe blood loss, and his condition is critical. They are taking him into emergency surgery. Serhat calls Can for an update. Can tells him that Sihan is losing a lot of blood and is being rushed into surgery. Serhat tells Can he is going to bring their mum Sevim and Azra and will return to the hospital immediately. Episode 20. Back at the mansion, Hayal cannot sleep. She finds Zeynep and reminds her about the promise she made not to tell anyone that she fainted at school. Unknown to them, Berrak approaches and overhears the conversation. Zeynep reassures Hayal that she has kept her promise. However, she reminds Hayal that she made a promise too. She would stop taking the dangerous diet pills. Hayal agrees. She then tells Zeynep how happy she is that both her and Kader have returned to the mansion, and they hug. Berrak interrupts them by calling Hayal's name and asking why she is still awake. Hayal says she is going to sleep and wishes them good night. Once Hayal leaves, Berrak turns to Zeynep. She says that since Zeynep brought Kader back and demanded that she behave like a mother, she will do exactly that. Zeynep says she has no problem with her being a mum but warns her that she will not allow her to treat Kader the way she has been treating Hayal and İlkem. She warns Berrak not to upset her because if she does, she will deal with her. Barak tells Zainab that when Hayal and Ilkum were little, they loved hearing bedtime stories from her. She decides she will read one to Kader. Zainab tells her to make sure the story has a happy ending because that is what Kader likes. Elsewhere, Erkan searches through the rubbish for the necklace Barak threw away. Barak enters Kader's room and begins telling her a bedtime story. Her story is about a queen who became pregnant. Rather than being happy about the pregnancy, the queen locked herself away in a cave and prayed for the baby to be born as quickly as possible because she desperately wanted to get rid of it. In the living room, Zainab is worried about what Barak might be telling Kader, so she goes to listen from outside. Barak continues the story as the queen gives birth, but according to Barak, the child was terrible. The queen immediately hands the baby over to other people and orders them never to allow the child to return to the castle. Zainab has heard enough. She opens the door and tells Kader that it is bedtime. Curious, Kader asks what happens at the end of the story, but Barak tells Kader that she will finish the story another night and leaves. Zainab follows her into the hallway and angrily asks whether she has lost her mind. Barak reminds her that she was the one who brought Kader back and demanded she act like a mother. According to her, that is exactly what she is doing. She tells Zainab that if she does not like it, she is free to take Kader and leave. Zainab immediately understands what Barak is trying to do. She refuses to leave simply to give Barak the peace she wants as Kader is staying. Zainab will not allow Barak to poison the child's mind with cruel stories designed to make her feel unwanted. Then Zainab gives Barak a warning of her own. If Barak makes Kader cry again, Zainab will reveal everything she knows. She gives her an ultimatum. Kader's peace in exchange for Barak's peace, is the choice is hers to make. Later, Kader asks Zainab what happens at the end of Barak's story. She wonders whether the queen eventually forgives her child. Zainab smiles and changes the ending that of course the queen forgives her daughter, she says. The little girl becomes very happy with her sisters, and they all live happily ever after, playing music and games together. Meanwhile, Serhat speaks to Mr. Nesip on the phone. He instructs him to remain in contact with the police and search for any private security cameras around the area. He wants every possible lead checked because he is determined to find the person who shot Sihan. When Serhat arrives at the mansion, Zainab meets him outside. She immediately tells him that her and Kader are back and says he would not believe what happened to them that night. She explains what happened to Kader. Serhat is alarmed and immediately asks whether Kader is okay. Zainab says she is safe, but admits she does not even want to imagine what might have happened had she arrived a few minutes later. Then she notices blood on Serhat's hands. Alarmed, she asks what happened. Serhat reveals that Sihan was shot and is currently undergoing surgery. He only came home to pick up Sevim and Azra before returning to the hospital. Before leaving, Serhat tells Zainab that he is glad she came back. Barak overhears them. Serhat then breaks the news to Sevim that Sihan has been shot. Sevim is devastated. Azra also prepares to leave for the hospital, while Barak accompanies the family. Elsewhere, Tibet meets with the men he sent after the receptionist. He is furious. Tibet reminds them that his instructions were to kill Serhat and bring the receptionist to him. One of the men explains that everything happened suddenly because Sihan unexpectedly jumped in front of Serhat. Tibet angrily sends them away and orders them to find the receptionist before the police do. At the hospital, Barak tries to comfort Sevim and tells her she must remain strong. She says Sihan should not wake up and see his mother devastated. Azra, however, is dealing with very different emotions. She prays that Sihan will die. For Azra, his death would mean freedom from the man who has controlled, threatened and tormented her for years. Unaware of what Azra is thinking, Sevim approaches her and reassures her that God will answer their prayers and Sihan will return to them. Azra hugs her. Meanwhile, Serhat remembers Sihan's words before he lost consciousness. Sihan had been trying to tell him who Kader's father was. Barak notices Serhat lost in thought and asks whether he is okay, but Serhat ignores her. Zainab later calls Serhat to ask about Sihan. Serhat tells her he is still in the operating room. Zainab also asks whether Serhat himself is okay. She tells him she will not be sleeping that night, so if anything happens or he needs anything, he can call her. At the hospital, Khan begins thinking about the shooting. He asks Serhat how the attackers could possibly have known exactly where they would be. Khan points out that he had taken the receptionist's phone, making it difficult for the man to alert anyone himself. Serhat immediately understands what Khan is implying, that Sihan told them. Khan admits that he cannot think of another explanation. Serhat is furious at what he said and reminds Khan that Sihan literally threw himself in front of him and took the bullet meant for him. Their brother is currently fighting for his life, yet he is suspecting him. Sevim overhears the argument. She demands to know why Khan suspects Sihan. Serhat tries to dismiss the matter, but Sevim refuses to let them hide anything from her. Eventually, Khan tells her about the illegal activity at the hotel and the receptionist's accusation that Sihan was the mastermind behind it. Sevim slaps Khan across the face and accuses him of condemning his own brother based solely on another person's word. She tells him he should be ashamed. Sevim warns Khan that if anything happens to Sihan, she will never give him her blessing. Barak tries to calm her down. Finally, the doctor arrives with an update. During surgery, Sihan's heart stopped. The doctor explains that they managed to revive him, but he will have to remain in intensive care. Azra turns pale upon hearing that Sihan survived. Later, when Sihan regains consciousness, the tension between the brothers remains. Sihan confronts Khan, saying he has never loved him the way he loves Serhat. He asks what he ever did to deserve being treated this way. When Serhat once suspected Khan of being Kader's father, Sihan reminds them that he was the first person to defend Khan. Serhat confirms that Sihan is telling the truth. Sihan reminds Serhat that he jumped in front of a bullet for him because he loves his brother enough to risk his own life. So why, he asks, whenever the family begins searching for a traitor, is he always the first person they suspect? Khan admits that when the receptionist directly accused Sihan of working with him, he did not know what else to think. Serhat stops the argument, telling them this is not the time. He then remembers something more important. Before losing consciousness, Sihan said he knew who Kader's father was. Serhat asks him to finally reveal the man's identity. Sihan confirms that he has been hiding the truth about Kader's father from Serhat. However, he refuses to reveal the name yet. He tells Serhat that before he can hear the truth, Sihan needs to recover and get himself together first. Elsewhere, Mustafa calls Azra. The moment she answers, Azra nervously tells him not to call her because if Sihan finds out, he will destroy her. Mustafa says he will not keep her long. He only wanted to know whether she was okay and whether something had happened to her. Overwhelmed, Azra admits that Sihan survived and confesses to him that she wanted her husband to die. Calling herself a terrible person, Azra admits that she thought Sihan's death would finally free her, but he is still alive. Mustafa asks Azra not to speak that way because those words may come back to haunt her. Azra replies that she has already been punished enough and wonders what worse thing could possibly happen to her. Despite everything, she thanks Mustafa for calling. It has been a long time since anyone genuinely wondered whether she was okay. Mustafa quietly tells her that she is always on his mind. Azra ends the call. Rifika notices Mustafa and asks who he was talking to. He lies, claiming it was Selim and that they were arranging to play football that evening. Meanwhile, Ebru overhears hotel employees discussing Sihan's shooting. Alarmed, she asks what happened and sees the news on one of their phones. Ebru asks whether they have heard anything else about his condition. One employee says Sihan underwent surgery and, according to something Sadef said, he is now conscious. Ebru immediately goes to Miss Burse and asks permission to leave for an hour because something urgent has come up. Miss Burse agrees but warns her not to take longer than an hour because they need her at reception. Ebru promises to return quickly. Back at Serhat's mansion, Serhat finally returns with better news. He tells Zeynep that Sihan survived and was able to speak a little. Seeing how exhausted Serhat looks, Zeynep offers to make him coffee. She asks why anyone would want to kill him. Serhat dismisses the matter as a problem involving the hotel and tells her not to worry about it. Hayal and Ilkum soon come downstairs and happily greet their father. They ask whether he came home to take them to school. Serhat tells them that is not why he came, as he will be moving back home. Hayal is delighted because first Zeynep and Kader returned last night, and now her father is coming home too. Ilkum jokingly suggests that perhaps she and Hayal should be the ones to leave next. Serhat immediately tells her that the joke is not funny. Zeynep cannot help smiling at their exchange. Meanwhile, Azra sits beside Sihan in his hospital room. Sihan tells her he is in pain and asks her to call the nurse. Once Azra leaves, Sihan calls Tibet. Sarcastically, Sihan asks whether Tibet has already prepared a wreath for his funeral. Tibet tells him to get well soon and says he saw the shooting on the news. Sihan angrily tells him to stop pretending. The men Tibet sent were responsible for shooting him. They were supposed to deal with the receptionist, not nearly kill Serhat. Tibet sees things differently. He asks why Sihan threw himself in front of Serhat in the first place. According to Tibet, Serhat is getting closer to the truth step by step, and something had to be done to stop him. Sihan refuses to accept that. He tells Tibet that if necessary, he will reveal the truth to Serhat himself. Serhat may hate him afterwards. He may even cut Sihan out of his life completely, but will never allow anyone to kill Serhat as he is his brother. Tibet coldly reminds Sihan that if he cannot risk suffering losses, then he should never have made the mistake that created this situation in the first place. Their conversation ends before anyone discovers what they are discussing. A short while later, Ebru arrives at Sihan's hospital room. Sihan is surprised to see her and asks what she is doing there. Ebru asks whether he is okay. Sihan says he is fine. She brought him lemon cologne because whenever her mother visits someone at the hospital, she always takes cologne with her, so she decided to do the same. Sihan tells her to give it to him since she brought it. After smelling it, he admits that it actually helped. Then, even from his hospital bed, Sihan cannot resist teasing her. He reminds Ebru that she once said he was not as charismatic as Serhat. Yet despite that, he has clearly made an impression on her because she rushed all the way to the hospital after hearing he had been shot. Ebru does not deny it. She admits she was genuinely worried when she heard what happened. Unknown to them, Azra returns with the nurse and notices Ebru inside. Instead of entering immediately, Azra asks the nurse to leave and waits outside and listens. Sihan tells Ebru that someone saw them together on the day he picked her up and later spread the story. Because of that, Azra gave him a difficult time. Ebru asks who told Azra. Sihan says he does not know. Realizing she may have become involved in another scandal, Ebru decides she should leave, as if Zeynep hears about this, nobody will be able to save her because her sister will tear her apart. Before Ebru exits, Azra moves away from the door so she will not realize she was listening. After Ebru leaves, Azra enters and tells Sihan that the nurse will be coming shortly. Sihan thanks her. Azra says she wants to go home to change her clothes. Sihan agrees but tells her not to wear the same outfit again because it makes her look old. He wants her to wear something brighter or lighter so she does not look like she is mourning him. Before she leaves, however, Sihan asks one disturbing question: is she actually happy that he survived? Azra immediately says, of course. Sihan tells her she should be. Then he asks her to come closer. Sihan reveals that he has prepared an envelope that will automatically be sent to the police if he dies. The envelope is hidden in his hotel room. Inside is the footage proving that Azra was responsible for the accident in which a man was killed. Azra is horrified. She asks whether he would really do that to her. Sihan calmly confirms that he would. Even in death, he refuses to allow Azra to escape him. He tells her that if he dies, she will go to prison because he will never allow her to become free and marry another man. Meanwhile, with Serhat returning to the mansion, the family begins settling into another new reality. Zeynep tells Serhat that Kader thinks he is not happy that she is back. Serhat tells Kader that he is happy she has returned home. However, he reminds her that the old rule still applies. No matter how close she becomes to Hayal and Ilkem, she must not tell them that she is their sister. Ilkem asks Barak when they are going to visit their uncle Sihan at the hospital. Barak tells her that they will call him after school, and if he is not too tired, they can go and see him. Hayal says she will call Uncle Sihan during recess. Once the girls leave for school, Barak makes a phone call of her own. She calls Hayal's teacher and asks whether Hayal fainted at school the previous day. The teacher confirms that she did. Barak immediately asks why nobody informed her that something had happened to her daughter. During the conversation, she learns something else that catches her attention. When Hayal fainted, she specifically asked the school to call Zeynep. Barak thanks the teacher for the information and ends the call. Shortly afterward, Erkan and Tulay arrive at the house. Barak immediately asks whether they found the necklace Kader made for her, which she had previously thrown away. Tulay gives it to her and explains that she thoroughly disinfected it after finding it. Erkan, however, is more concerned about their destroyed home. He reminds Barak that Kader was responsible for the fire, while Tulay complains that they do not have the money to replace their sofa, furniture and everything else that was damaged. Barak tells them that she will transfer money into Tulay's account to cover the losses and then asks them to leave. Serhat arrives and sees them. Erkan greets him, but Serhat immediately pushes him, causing him to fall. Furious, Serhat reminds Erkan of his previous warning: if even a single hair on Kader's head was harmed, he would kill him. Erkan insists that nothing happened to Kader. Because Zeynep saved her, Serhat fires back. Serhat then turns his anger toward Barak and warns her never to bring these scumbags into his house again because they are not welcome here. Barak argues that she did not bring them, but Serhat has had enough and tells her to get lost and save everyone from having to deal with her. Zeynep arrives during the confrontation and immediately asks Erkan and Tulay why they have returned. She warns them that if they came for Kader, they will not be taking her anywhere. Tulay sarcastically tells Zeynep that she should make her pay for the window she broke while rescuing Kader from the burning house. Zeynep asks her to go ahead as she will give it to her right away. As the argument intensifies, Serhat grabs Zeynep's hand to stop her from going any further. Elsewhere, Tulay approaches Azra and says she has something private to tell her. She reveals that Sihan has been spending time with Zeynep's sister, Ebru. According to Tulay, she once saw Sihan and Ebru meeting in the morning like two teenagers, laughing together before getting into Sihan's car and driving away. Azra is not surprised. She tells Tulay that Barak has already informed her about Sihan and Ebru and asks whether she knows anything else. Tulay admits that she does not, but quickly offers her services. Since she lives in the neighborhood, she can become Azra's eyes and ears, watch Ebru closely and find out exactly what is happening. Tulay assumes Azra would want her help saving her marriage. To her surprise, Azra says she wants the exact opposite. She does not want her marriage saved. She wants it to fall apart. Tulay freezes, admitting that she had never considered the situation that way. She even wonders whether there is some kind of prenuptial agreement preventing Azra from simply leaving Sihan. Azra tells her that the reason is none of her business. What matters is whether she can help push Sihan and Ebru closer together. Tulay eagerly agrees. She says she can become Ebru's confidant, gain her trust and do whatever is necessary to stir things up between Ebru and Sihan. Azra tells her to make sure the two of them actually enter a relationship. If Tulay succeeds, she can ask Azra for whatever she wants. Before Azra leaves to visit Sihan at the hospital, Tulay tells her about the fire that destroyed her home the previous night. Hearing this, Azra asks Tulay to wait for her. Episode 21. Serhat speaks privately with Can. He asks Can not to resent their mother for slapping him at the hospital. Serhat points out that if he had been in Sihan's position, the slap probably would have landed on someone else instead. Can admits that he does not want to think badly of Sihan, but one question continues bothering him. If Sihan was not the person who informed the gunman where they were meeting the receptionist, then who did? Serhat does not have an answer. However, after wrongly suspecting Can in the past, he refuses to make the same mistake again. He tells Can they cannot accuse another member of their family without proof. Tibet arrives and says he hopes Sihan recovers soon, commenting that Istanbul is full of dangerous people and nobody knows where trouble might come from. When he asks about Sihan's condition, Serhat explains that the injury was serious but the operation went well and Sihan is recovering. Tibet says that is good news because Sihan is not the type to give up easily. Unknown to Serhat and Can, Tibet knows far more than he is admitting. Tibet remembers his men capturing the receptionist before the police could find him. He instructed the receptionist to turn himself in and tell the authorities that the orders concerning the men smuggled into the hotel came from a Georgian man named Ravaz Kokaroglu. Tibet also ordered the receptionist to explain that he only mentioned Sihan's name previously because he was terrified of Ravaz. He assures the receptionist that he will probably serve only 2 or 3 years in prison and that his people will look after him while he is inside. The receptionist begs not to be sent to prison, fearing he will be killed there. Tibet gives him an ultimatum. Go to prison and follow his instructions, or Tibet will kill him immediately. Back to reality, Tibet tells Serhat and Can that he will not take up more of their time. Soon afterward, Serhat and Can receive news that the police have the receptionist in custody. Serhat immediately asks whether he identified his accomplice. They learn through a contact at the prosecutor's office that the receptionist claims his orders came from Ravaz Kokaroglu in Georgia regarding the people illegally brought into the hotel. Serhat recognizes the name. Ravaz is known for human trafficking and other shady dealings. Can immediately asks the question that matters most to him, was Sihan's name mentioned in the receptionist's statement? They are told that the receptionist admitted he falsely blamed Sihan because he was afraid of Ravaz. The new statement appears to clear Sihan, but Serhat remains cautious. After everything that has happened, he does not completely trust the receptionist's word. He says the man could still have had an accomplice inside the hotel and orders the matter to be investigated further. Back at the house, Kader is playing tea when Barak approaches her wearing the necklace Kader made for her. Kader's face lights up. She tells Barak that she thought she had thrown the necklace away. Barak tells her she must have been mistaken. Why would she ever throw away a present her own daughter made for her? Overjoyed, Kader hugs her mother but Barak does not return the affection. Instead, she tells Kader that she cannot hug her because she does not love her. Kader immediately says that she does love her. Barak argues that if Kader truly loved her, she would have kept the promises she made instead of constantly listening to Zainab. Barak then removes the necklace. She tells Kader that she will put it away in her drawer and will wear it again when Kader has made things up to her. Desperate to regain her mother's approval, Kader asks what she can do. Barak says she does not know because her heart is so broken that nothing comes to mind. She promises to tell Kader when she thinks of something. Zainab walks in and immediately senses the tension. When Barak starts leaving, Zainab asks whether she is going because she arrived. Because you came, Barak replies. She tells Zainab that her presence means nothing to her and that she is simply a nuisance in her life. Zainab responds that she is actually an exclamation mark in Barak's life, but she simply has not realized it yet. Barak warns Zainab not to become too confident because of the influence she has over Kader. No child, she says, will ever love a stranger more than her own mother. Zainab agrees but only if that mother is a real mother. At the hospital, Serhat again questions Sihan about the identity of Barak's former lover and Kader's biological father. Sihan reminds him that he has already promised to reveal everything when he is ready. Serhat cannot understand the delay. He asks what the identity of Barrick's lover could possibly have to do with Sihan. Sihan tells him that he will understand everything soon. He then makes a disturbing declaration. Once he leaves the hospital, he will no longer work at the hotel. Serhat asks what he means. Sihan tells him that the day he discovers who Barrick's lover is will also be the day he disappears from his life. Serhat becomes even more confused and demands that Sihan stop speaking in riddles and simply tell him the truth. Sihan still refuses, saying it will happen soon. Serhat insists that he wants to know now, but Azra arrives. Serhat asks Azra to give them a few minutes to talk, but Sihan asks her to stay as their conversation is over. Once they are alone, Sihan compliments Azra on how beautiful she looks. He then unexpectedly asks whether, after he is discharged, they should leave the city together. He even suggests moving to another country and starting a new life somewhere else. Back at home, Barrick arranges a family dinner. When Hayal and Ilkam arrive, Hayal eagerly asks what they are having. However, one look from Barrick is enough to make Hayal change her answer and say she would rather have a salad. Barrick tells Serhat that she had all his favorite dishes prepared because it has been a long time since they sat around the table together as a family. Serhat refuses to participate. He says he is not hungry and tells his daughters to enjoy the meal without him. Barrick then says they need to discuss the issue. Serhat asks what issue she means. Instead of answering directly, Barrick calls for Zainab. From the kitchen, Zainab is irritated by the way Barrick calls her as though she is a servant. Hayal innocently assumes Zainab did not hear, but Serhat immediately says she probably heard perfectly well and simply refused to come because she called her like a servant. Barrick then reveals why she wants Zainab there. She accuses her of hiding important information concerning their daughter's health. Serhat does not believe her at first, but Barrick tells him to ask Zainab himself. Serhat goes into the kitchen and asks Zainab to come out for a moment. Zainab wonders whether Barrick wants her to clear the table. Serhat immediately tells her that he will never allow anyone to treat her that way. He explains that Barrick claims she has been hiding something concerning his daughter's health. When Zainab joins them, Barrick directly asks why she never told either parent that Hayal fainted at school. From Serhat's reaction, Barrick realizes that he did not know either. Hayal reminds Zainab that she promised not to tell anyone. Zainab confirms that she kept that promise. Barrick demands to know why Zainab would hide something so serious from Hayal's parents. Serhat also asks whether the accusation is true. Zainab refuses to betray Hayal's confidence. She says that if Hayal has something to tell her parents, then she should be the one to say it. Hayal finally admits that she fainted. Zainab encourages her to explain why. Hayal confesses that she had been taking diet pills. Barrick acts shocked and asks why she would ever do something like that. Zainab immediately turns the question back on Barrick. She reminds her that she pressured Hayal to lose weight and made her promise to do so. That pressure is why Hayal turned to the pills in the first place. Serhat is horrified. He asks Barrick whether this is true and whether she has lost her mind as Hayal is still a child, and he cannot understand how she could put that kind of pressure on her. Barrick defends herself by insisting that everything she did was for Hayal's own good. She reminds them that Hayal was previously bullied at school because of her weight and claims she was only trying to protect her daughter from experiencing that again. Zainab rejects that argument completely. Hayal is not the one who needs to change. The children bullying her are the problem. Serhat tells Hayal never to worry about her weight again. Barrick warns Serhat that if Hayal starts being bullied again, she will hold him responsible. Serhat makes it clear that she cannot hold him responsible for anything. Hayal, however, sides with her mother. She tells Serhat that Barrick is right because she would rather die than go through what she experienced at school again. Barrick immediately comforts Hayal, promising that she will never have to relive those painful days and telling her they will find a better way for her to lose weight. Ilkum and Hyle beg Serhat not to be angry with their mother. Barak then changes her approach completely. She blames herself, saying she pushed Hyle too hard and now hates herself for it. She leaves the room upset, and both girls immediately follow their mother to comfort her. After watching everything unfold, Zeynep tells Serhat that Barak is extremely dangerous. At the hospital, Mustafa secretly visits Azra because he wanted to see her, even if only for 5 minutes. Azra assumes he came because he pities her. Mustafa says it is not pity. He is angry with himself because he feels he should have protected her from Sihan. Azra asks Mustafa not to try to save her because every time someone has attempted to save her, she says, her situation has only become worse. This time, she intends to save herself. Mustafa asks whether she has a plan and offers to help. Azra refuses to involve him. Before leaving, Mustafa gives her some tangerines, saying he thought she might like them. Back at the house, Zeynep tells Serhat that, despite being a literature teacher, she cannot find an adjective strong enough to describe Barak. Serhat, however, also has an issue with Zeynep. He reminds her that he specifically asked her not to hide anything from him, yet she kept Hyle's fainting and diet pills secret. He tells her that if she does something like that again, he will be deeply disappointed. Zeynep explains that she is trying to protect Kader, Hyle and Ilkum from Barak. To do that, the girls need to trust and love her enough to confide in her. If she immediately reveals everything they tell her, they will stop opening up to her. Serhat then reveals something important. Sihan knows the identity of Kader's biological father. He believes everything will finally be over once the truth comes out because Barak will have no choice but to leave the house. At the hospital, Sihan is texting Ebru and smiling at his phone when Azra notices. When she asks what is amusing him, Sihan lies that one of the chefs from the restaurant sent him something funny. Azra casually asks whether he gets along well with his co-workers and whether they like him. Sihan notices the tangerines look good. He asks her if she bought them at the cafeteria, and Azra says she did. Sihan asks for one. Azra initially says he should not have it because he has taken a lot of medication and she worries it might affect him. Sihan insists it is fine, so she eventually gives him one. That night, Barak enters Serhat's bedroom while he is sleeping and begins caressing him. Serhat wakes up and immediately tells her to get out. Barak says she misses him. Serhat warns her not to push him any further, but Barak continues and affectionately calls him, darling. When Serhat gets out of bed, Barak removes her dress and asks whether he truly does not want her anymore. Serhat looks at her and asks how she could possibly think he would still want her. Barak reminds him that throughout their marriage, whenever they fought, they often made up this way. Serhat points out the differences back then. He loved her, now he is disgusted by her. He again orders her to leave, but SHW simply sits down. Serhat tells her she can do whatever she wants and walks out of the bedroom himself. He finds Zeynep in the kitchen and explains that Barak entered his room and made him so angry that he decided to leave rather than stay there with her. Zeynep calls Barak shameless and wonders whether she will finally feel embarrassed when her former lover is exposed and she is forced to leave the house. Serhat believes she will. Zeynep tells him that he needs to tell his daughters the truth. As long as they do not know what Barak has done, she can continue walking around the house carrying Serhat's surname and presenting herself as the victim. The following morning, Zeynep prepares breakfast for Kader. Kader greets Serhat when she sees him, and he warmly responds. When Zeynep notices Serhat, she brings him his coffee and greets him as well. Serhat is amused that she has learned his habits so well. Zeynep quickly shuts down the implication, telling him she simply has a very strong memory and that it has absolutely nothing to do with him. Kader asks whether Ilkum will receive a medal at her swimming competition. Zeynep tells her that Ilkum will do her best, but whether she wins a medal or not, they will still cheer for her. She then tells Kater that her toast is almost ready. Hyle goes into Ilkem's room and confidently tells her sister that she is going to win. Ilkem replies that of course she will win. Is there any other possibility? Beric enters carrying a gift for Ilkem. Ilkem loves it, and Hyle asks whether Beric bought it recently. Beric says she did because the previous one was destroyed by her. She then tells the girls that the necklace will belong to the daughter who wins first place. She and her winning daughter will also have a special mother-daughter day together, while the loser will not be allowed to come. Hyle's expression immediately falls. She reminds Beric that she has piano auditions the following day and asks what will happen if both she and Iklem win. Beric says that in that case she will simply buy another necklace, and the three of them can have a mother-daughter day together. Meanwhile, Sihan tells Serhat that he and Azra are planning to start a completely new life somewhere else. As everyone prepares to leave for Iklim's swimming competition, Zeynep and Kater come outside with the rest of the family. Beric tells them that they do not have to come. Zeynep is confused as today is Ilkem's day, and there is no way they are going to leave her without their support. Kater excitedly tells Ilkem that she hopes she wins. Ilkem thanks her. Zeynep tells Ilkem to simply do her best because her final ranking does not matter. Beric immediately contradicts her and tells Ilkem not to listen to Zeynep. To Beric, Ilkem is her little champion, and winning is what matters. When Zeynep moves toward the front passenger seat of Serhat's car, Beric immediately announces that it is her seat. Serhat sharply calls Beric's name, making it clear that he will not entertain another argument. Zeynep gets into the front seat. Sevim arrives and notices the arrangement. Beric suggests that Sevim goes with her and the girls in the other car with the driver because they will be more comfortable that way. Sevim notices Zeynep sitting beside Serhat and asks Beric why she allowed another woman to take the seat next to her husband. Beric dismisses the concern as Zeynep could never be a threat to her. At the swimming arena, Serhat sits with Zeynep and Kater, while Beric sits with Sevim and Hyle. Sevim tells Beric that she does not understand why Zeynep and Kater had to come. As the competition is about to begin, Kater enthusiastically cheers for Ilkem. Zeynep joins in, loudly whistling to encourage her. Her whistle catches Beric and Sevim's attention, while Serhat cannot help smiling. Beric asks Sevim what on earth Zeynep is doing. Sevim tells her that Zeynep behaved exactly the same way at Hyle's recital. The starting whistle blows, and the swimming competition begins. But as Ilkem competes, the pressure Beric has placed on her begins overwhelming her. She remembers her mother's hurtful words about her being Hyle's mediocre sister. She also remembers seeing Beric in the pool during the period surrounding her accident. The memories distract Ilkem, and she suddenly loses focus in the water. Serhat realizes something is seriously wrong. Believing Ilkem is drowning, he immediately jumps into the pool and pulls his daughter to safety. As soon as he reaches her, Serhat desperately asks whether she is okay. Beric's first reaction, however, is to tell Ilkem that she lost the competition. Zeynep is furious as she cannot believe that after seeing Ilkem struggling in the water, Beric's immediate concern is that her daughter failed to win. Paramedics begin attending to Ilkem as the frightened family waits to find out whether she is all right. Tibet assures Sihan that he has taken care of the situation involving the receptionist, but the conversation quickly turns to Sihan's relationship with Serhat. Tibet points out that Serhat has not even given Sihan a share in the hotel chain, so he cannot understand why Sihan continues protecting him. Tibet warns Sihan that his weakness for his brothers will eventually be his downfall. After everything Sihan has already done behind Serhat's back, Tibet cannot understand why he is suddenly becoming sentimental. Sihan admits that what he did to Serhat was not something a good older brother should have done. He betrayed his brother, but he believes he still has one final chance to redeem himself and make things right. Tibet reminds him that he cannot suddenly make decisions alone because the two of them are in this together. However, Sihan makes it clear that the moment Tibet's men pointed a gun at Sirhat, whatever bond existed between them was over. Tibet argues that the shooting is behind them and promises it will never happen again, but Sihan refuses to change his mind. For him, their partnership is finished. Tibet thinks Sihan is speaking out of anger and is not thinking clearly. He reminds him that they share a bond of destiny. If one of them falls, the other cannot remain standing. They still have many things to do together and, more importantly, they share too many secrets. Before leaving, Tibet warns Sihan not to betray his trust. Episode 22. Ilkham is devastated after what happened at the swimming competition. She apologizes to Barak for failing to bring the medal home, explaining that she simply could not control herself once she was in the pool. Barak tells Ilkham that there is no rule saying everyone has to be successful. She adds that one champion in the family is enough and deliberately looks at Hayal while saying it. Her words only deepen Ilkham's disappointment. A servant informs Barak that the driver is waiting outside. Barak remembers that she has physical therapy and tells Ilkham she can stay home with her if she wants. Ilkham insists that she is fine and tells her mother not to miss her treatment because of her. Once Barak leaves, Hayal asks Ilkham whether she wants her to stay with her. Still hurt and frustrated, Ilkham tells Hayal to get out of her room. After Hayal leaves, Ilkham finally breaks down and cries alone. As Barak prepares to leave, Kader innocently tries to comfort her. She promises Barak that she will win a medal for her one day. Barak responds coldly, simply ordering Kader to move out of her way. Elsewhere, Tulay calls Azra. Azra immediately asks whether she has anything useful to tell her about Ebru and Sihan. Tulay tells her that these things cannot be rushed and that she is moving slowly but surely. Azra has no patience for that. She believes there is already chemistry between Sihan and Ebru, and she wants to expose it. What she needs from Tulay is to push them closer together until something happens that she can use. Back at the house, Kader picks flowers from the garden and brings them to Ilkham. Zainab also tries to lift Ilkham's spirits, making her chamomile tea to help her calm down. She reminds Ilkham that losing one race does not mean she is a failure, as history is full of athletes who experienced failure before becoming successful, so she should not allow one bad experience to make her give up. Zainab asks Ilkham to think about what she has said and assures her that she can call her if she needs anything. Before leaving with Kader, Zainab gives Ilkham the flowers Kader picked for her. Later, Hayal returns to Ilkham's room and tries to cheer her up. She tells Ilkham that if she wins her piano tryouts the following day, Ilkham can still come along for their mother-daughter day. Ilkham immediately takes the suggestion badly and asks whether she is offering her charity. Hayal insists that is not what she means, as she simply feels the day would not feel the same without her sister. She even offers Ilkham the necklace Barak bought for the championship. Ilkham becomes even more upset, believing Hayal is so confident she will win the piano tryouts that she is already giving away the prize. She refuses the necklace and asks Hayal to leave. Before leaving, Hayal tells her that she worked very hard and therefore believes she will win. Ilkham angrily asks whether she thinks she herself did not work hard. As she tries to close the door, Hayal's hand is caught in it, causing her a great deal of pain. Ilkham immediately apologizes and insists she did not mean to hurt her, but Hayal accuses her of doing it deliberately and tells her to leave. Zainab hears the commotion and rushes over. When she sees Hayal's injured hand, she takes her to the hospital, leaving Kader with Sister Jansu. Meanwhile, Azra goes to check on Sihan while he is sleeping. Seeing his phone nearby, she takes it and discovers his messages with Ebru. She photographs their conversation before carefully putting the phone back where she found it. Afterward, Azra chooses a dress from her closet and prepares to go out. Savim sees her and cannot believe she is leaving when Sihan is recovering from a gunshot wound and Ilkham is upset at home. Azra explains that she has something important to take care of and will return soon. After she leaves, Sevim complains that her son is being wasted on a woman who seems completely indifferent to him. At the hotel, Sadef tells Serhat and Kan that the story about illegal immigrants staying at their hotel is beginning to spread. She has contacted people she knows in the press and denied the accusations, but warns that she can only suppress the story for so long. Serhat suggests releasing an official statement, but Sadef advises waiting another day in the hope that the situation will calm down. Kan believes they should go even further and cancel the important meeting planned for the following month. They still do not know whether someone inside the hotel collaborated with those responsible for bringing the people in with fake passports. If something similar happens while such important guests are staying there, the damage could be impossible to contain. Serhat disagrees as postponing the meeting would make it appear that they are admitting the accusations are true. He decides that the meeting will go ahead. Zeynep then calls Serhat with news about Hayal. She tells him that Hayal's hand was badly crushed in the door, but assures him that the X-ray showed no fracture or dislocation. Serhat immediately asks how it happened. Zeynep explains that Hayal's hand became caught in the door. Hayal claims Ilkem did it deliberately, while Ilkem insists it was an accident. Since Zeynep did not witness what happened, she cannot say which version is true. Serhat cannot imagine Ilkem deliberately hurting her sister and assumes it must have been an accident. Zeynep tells him that after the way Barak has been provoking the girls against each other, anything is possible. Serhat asks what Barak has done now, and Zeynep explains that she promised a necklace and a special mother-daughter day to whichever girl became a winner. Serhat is furious that Barak has turned her daughters against each other and made them compete for her affection. He asks which hospital they are at because he wants to come immediately. Zeynep tells him there is no need because Hayal is fine and they are heading to the hotel. Hayal wants to go home and rest, but Zeynep has another idea. Since the girls did not get their mother-daughter day, she suggests they have a sister day instead. She wants Hayal and Ilkem to spend quality time together at the spa and then have a nice meal afterward. Meanwhile, Barak visits Sihan. She tells Sihan that Tibet should never come there again. Sihan replies that Tibet came without being invited, just as she did. He then warns Barak that the ice beneath her feet is beginning to crack and he can no longer keep the truth from Serhat. Barak immediately becomes alarmed. She warns Sihan that revealing the truth will not only destroy her, it will drag all of them down. She asks whether he has lost his mind and begs him not to do anything reckless. Their conversation is interrupted when Sevim opens the door. Barak quickly changes the subject, saying Hayal and Ilkem have been asking to visit their uncle and that she will tell them Sihan is available. Sevim then reveals that she just saw Zeynep in the garden and that Hayal injured her hand after getting it caught in a door. Barak is shocked because she knew nothing about the accident. Later, while Hayal and Ilkem enjoy their time at the spa, Serhat takes Zeynep to the hotel restaurant for dinner. Serhat asks whether Barak really promised gifts to the girls based on who won. Zeynep confirms it and explains that Barak effectively turned the sisters against each other by making them feel they had to win to earn special treatment from their mother. Zeynep asks Serhat whether he never noticed Barak behaving this way before. Serhat admits that he did not. He trusted Barak's love for him and for their daughters, and now believes he made a terrible mistake. Zeynep tells him that trusting someone is not a mistake. When the waiter arrives, Zeynep struggles to choose from the menu because there are so many options. Serhat offers to choose for her. He says that if he knows her at all, she likes Mediterranean cuisine and orders seafood paella for her. Zeynep is surprised and asks how he knew. Serhat smiles and tells her that she underestimates him. Zeynep smiles back, and a warm moment passes between them. Azra arrives dressed to make an impression. The moment she spots Ebru, she storms toward her, grabs her by the hair and accuses her of trying to seduce Sihan. Ebru denies doing anything with Sihan, but Azra refuses to listen. She accuses Ebru of trying to destroy her marriage and says she is going to teach her a lesson. Sadef tries to separate them, but Azra tells her to get out of the way and continues attacking Ebru. The disturbance quickly draws attention. Khan calls Serhat and tells him that Azra has caused a huge scene in the lobby and is practically destroying the hotel. Serhat immediately heads there, with Zainab following him. Sadef continues trying to stop the fight, reminding Azra that there are guests around who can hear everything. Khan also warns Azra that she is humiliating herself in front of the hotel's customers. When Serhat arrives, he demands to know what is happening. Azra points that this woman has been hitting on her husband. She demands that Ebru be fired. Zainab initially assumes Azra is referring to Sadef and remarks that she is not surprised. Sadef says it is not her. Zainab is stunned when she realizes Azra means Ebru. Ebru immediately swears to her sister that the accusation is not true. Zainab firmly says Ebru would never do something like that. When Sadef realizes that Zainab and Ebru are sisters, she comments that everything suddenly makes sense. Zainab immediately challenges her, asking exactly what she means by that. Azra then shows them proof. Screenshots of Sihan and Ebru's text conversations. Ebru explains that they were simply texting as friends and that nothing romantic was happening between them. When Rifika learns what happened, she confronts Ebru and demands to know why she is communicating with a married man. Ebru repeatedly insists that she is not seeing Sihan. Rifika decides Ebru will not return to work at the hotel. Ebru refuses, arguing that she has done nothing wrong, so she should not have to hide or run away from her job. Rifika insists that the decision is final. She also keeps the truth from Arif because she fears the stress could cause him to have a heart attack. Zainab later tells Ebru that from now on, she should not even say hello to Sihan. In her frustration, she declares that everyone in the Tekir family is crazy, except Serhat. Ebru immediately notices that Zainab has excluded Serhat from the criticism and teases her for being unable to say anything bad about him. Zainab ignores the implication and tells Ebru to resign from the hotel, block Sihan and end the entire situation before it becomes worse. Meanwhile, Azra returns to Sihan and proudly tells him that she confronted his girlfriend at the hotel. Savim is stunned and asks what she is talking about. Azra tells Savim that Sihan has been cheating on her and shows her his conversations with his lover. Sihan insists Azra has misunderstood. He and Ebru were only joking around. Savim is furious. She reminds Sihan that he is married and asks how he can joke and laugh that way with another woman when he should be sharing that closeness with his wife. Knowing how strongly Savim feels about infidelity, she even sides with Azra and tells Sihan that she will not forgive him for this. Sihan continues insisting that there is nothing between him and Ebru. Once Savim leaves, Sihan tells Azra that she has humiliated him. Azra replies that he should be embarrassed by his own behavior and walks away. Azra then calls Tulai. She tells her that she has already stirred things up publicly, so now it is her turn as she must provoke Ebru and push her toward Sihan. Azra thinks if Ebru has even the slightest feelings for him, she wants those feelings encouraged until she acts on them. Azra later tells Sihan not to exhaust himself because he is still recovering. She sarcastically says she will go and stay in the cage and take her own punishment. Back at the house, Barak confronts Serhat over Hayal. She is furious that Zainab took her daughter to the hospital without telling her. She insists that Zainab has no right even to touch her child without her permission. Serhat tells her to stop. Barak continues insisting that Hayal is her daughter. Serhat immediately reminds her that Kader is also her daughter. He points out that she would not even have known if Kader had starved to death while she was away. When Kader nearly died in the fire, it was Zainab who saved her. Barak dismissively asks what Kader has to do with Hayal and Ilkam. She says Kader is not like them because Hayal and Ilkam were born out of love, while Kader was a mistake. Serhat becomes furious. He reminds Barak that if Kader was a mistake, then it was her who made that mistake. He tells her that Zainab was right about her. She is heartless, soulless, merciless and despicable. Barak declares that Zainab will answer to her. Serhat tells her Zainab is doing the opposite of harming their family. She is busy healing the wounds Barak has inflicted on Kader, Ilkam and Hayal. Barak immediately twists his words and asks whether Zainab is healing his wounds too. She claims Zainab is in love with him and that Kader is only an excuse for her to remain close to him. Unfortunately, Kader overhears part of this conversation. Barak uses the opportunity to manipulate her. She tells Kader that Zainab does not truly love her and is only staying there because she loves Serhat. Confused and hurt, Kader later approaches Zainab and asks her directly whether she loves Serhat. She explains that her mother said she does not love her and is only there because of him. Zainab immediately reassures Kader that Barak is wrong. She tells the child that she loves her very much and pulls her into a hug. Afterward, Zainab tells Serhat that Barak is becoming increasingly dangerous because she is filling Kader's mind with cruel and confusing ideas. She repeats what Barak told Kader: Zainab loves Mr. Serhat, not you. Serhat then unexpectedly asks Zainab not to fall in love with him. Zainab is stunned. She asks what could possibly make him think she would fall in love with him. Serhat explains that he does not believe he can love anyone anymore. Even if he did, he would not be able to trust that person, and in the end he would only make them unhappy. Zainab quickly puts him in his place. She tells Serhat that even if he came to her, she would not come to him. Her heart is precious, and she does not open it to just anyone. She tells him not to worry because she has no intention of falling in love with him. Zainab wishes him good night and walks away. Despite everything they have just said, neither of them can easily dismiss the conversation. Later, both Serhat and Zainab separately remember moments and conversations they have shared, suggesting that Barak's accusation has forced them to think about feelings neither of them is ready to acknowledge. The following day, Sihan finally makes the call Serhat has been waiting for. He tells Serhat that he is ready to reveal the identity of Kader's father. Serhat is driving when the call comes. Realizing the importance of what Sihan is about to say, he pulls the car over and tells his brother that he is listening. But Sihan struggles to get the words out. Instead, he apologizes. He tells Serhat that he is sorry and does not even have the courage to say what he needs to say. He asks his brother to forgive him. Serhat becomes confused and asks why Sihan is asking for forgiveness. Sihan finally begins his confession: he betrayed him. Episode 23. Sihan's confession leaves Serhat demanding answers. Serhat tells him to speak and reveal everything. Sihan finally reveals that he knows who Kader's biological father is. Serhat immediately asks how long he has known and demands to know who the man is. Sihan explains that he had suspected the truth for a long time, but initially refused to believe it. The possibility seemed impossible to him, especially because it involved someone close to them. Finally, Sihan reveals the name Serhat has been desperately searching for. Kader's father is Tibet. Serhat is shocked. He remembers Tibet telling him how lucky he was to have a wife like Barak, and he also remembers Tibet's reaction when he saw Kader after visiting Sihan. Meanwhile, Barak sees Sihan talking on the phone and wonders who he is speaking to. Sihan explains how he reached the conclusion. Sometime earlier, he had seen Barak speaking with Tibet, and something about the interaction bothered him. At the time, he did not want to suspect his own brother's wife, particularly because Barak had always presented herself as a woman deeply in love with him. However, when Kader appeared, all the pieces began falling into place. Serhat demands to know why Sihan did not tell him about his suspicions earlier. Sihan reminds him of the DNA test Zainab secretly carried out during Hayal's birthday. When all the results came back negative, he thought he had been wrong. However, after Barak left the hospital, something else happened. Sihan hesitates, admitting that he is ashamed to tell Serhat what he did. After discovering everything Barak had hidden from Serhat, Sihan had begun wondering whether his own wife might also be hiding something from him. Because of this, he secretly went through Azra's phone. While checking Azra's calls, Sihan noticed that Tibet had been called. This immediately struck him as strange because Azra barely knew Tibet. Sihan eventually realized that Azra probably had not made the call at all. He suspected that Barak had taken Azra's phone and used it to contact Tibet. Serhat does not want suspicions. He asks Sihan whether he has actual proof. Sihan says he does. He went back over what happened during Hail's birthday and realized that when Zainab was secretly collecting DNA samples from everyone, Tibet had already left. This meant Tibet was the only possible suspect whose DNA had not been tested. He also tells Serhat that he managed to collect a sample from Tibet and had it tested as the results are in his hotel room. Sihan tells Serhat once again that Tibet is Kader's father. Serhat asks when he carried out the DNA test. Sihan admits that he did it a week ago. Serhat cannot believe Sihan has known the truth for an entire week and is only telling him now. Sihan explains that he did not know how to reveal something so devastating to him. He was also afraid of what Serhat might do because Tibet is a dangerous and shady man. Serhat tells Sihan that he will not forgive him. 3 hours earlier, Zainab is on the phone with her mother, Rifika, while repeatedly refreshing the page to see whether she has been accepted for a teaching appointment. Rifika tells her that she hopes she gets the position because she and Zainab's father prayed for her the previous night. Zainab hopes so too. When the results finally appear, Zainab discovers that she has not been appointed. She tells her mother that she was not accepted, but tries to act as though there is nothing to be sad about. She says perhaps it simply was not her destiny to become a teacher in a public school. Later, when Serhat sees Zainab, he immediately notices that something is wrong. Zainab initially asks him not to question her, but eventually tells him that she didn't get the teacher appointment and is therefore unemployed. Serhat tells her that he is sorry, not only for her, but also for all the children who were missing the opportunity to be taught by her. She admits that she has begun to think hope may be a person's greatest enemy, as you hope for something, want it desperately, dream about it and pray for it, only for everything to collapse when it does not happen. She is tired of constantly waiting for her life to begin and repeatedly being disappointed. Meanwhile, Sihan tells Barak that he is running away and advises her to do the same while she still has the chance. Barak does not understand what he is talking about. Sihan tells her that Serhat knows now. The news shocks Barak so much that she drops her cup. She cannot believe Sihan actually told him. She attacks Sihan, cursing him, but he grabs her hand and tells her that he could no longer live with the guilt. He warns Barak that she should not be at the house when Serhat returns. He tells her that this warning is the last favor he will ever do for her. Sihan then calls Khan at the hotel and asks whether Serhat left his gun in the hotel safe. Khan does not understand what is happening or why he is asking about Serhat's weapon. Sihan tells Khan that if Serhat comes to the hotel, he should do everything possible to prevent him from getting the gun. Khan demands an explanation, but Sihan tells him that he will understand soon enough. For now, the important thing is to protect Serhat from himself. At the house, Kader sees Barak and happily hugs her, saying, "Good morning, Mum." Barak pushes her away and tells Kader that everything is her fault. Barak then wakes Hail and orders her to get dressed quickly and pack her belongings. She gives Ilkam the same instructions, telling both girls to hurry. Meanwhile, Serhat confronts Tibet. He asks Tibet whether he had an affair with his wife. Tibet asks who told him, but Serhat does not answer. He simply repeats the question and demands the truth. Tibet struggles to find the words before finally apologizing. Serhat pushes him to the floor. Tibet gets back up with a gun, but Serhat punches him and sends him back to the floor. Tibet gets up again and tries to attack Serhat, but Serhat overpowers him and continues beating him. Serhat completely loses control, and during the confrontation, Tibet falls from the story building. Back at the house, Barak orders Hayal and Ilkum to hurry as she gets them into the car. Kader realizes that something is happening. She calls Barak Mum, and begs her not to leave her behind again. She asks Barak to take her with them. As Barak is about to leave, Kader hugs her. Barak tells Kader that she will not leave her behind and asks her to hurry inside, put on her coat and shoes, and come back. Kader excitedly goes to get ready. While Kader is putting on her clothes, Zainab arrives. Kader happily tells Zainab that she is going somewhere with her mother. But before Kader can reach the car, Barak drives away with Hayal and Ilkum, leaving Kader behind. Kader runs after the car, desperately trying to catch up with her mother. Zainab follows her and tries to comfort her. At first, Zainab tells Kader that Barak will probably return later and may simply have taken Hayal and Ilkum somewhere, but Kader insists that her mother will not come back because she took both of her sisters with her. Zainab tries to reassure her, suggesting that perhaps Barak only took them to school. Meanwhile, Serhat leaves Tibet lying on the ground and drives away. Sihan later arrives at the scene, sees Tibet and calls his name. Back at the house, Zainab checks Hayal and Ilkum's rooms and realizes their belongings are gone. She now understands that Barak did not simply take them to school. Zainab calls Hayal. Hayal sees Zainab calling and tells her mother that she must be worried. Barak asks Hayal to give her the phone and ends the call. Zainab then calls Ilkum. Once again, Barak takes the phone. This time, she tells Zainab directly that she is taking her daughters and leaving. Barak then throws Hayal and Ilkum's phones away. The girls complain, wondering how their father will contact them, but Barak tells them that there is nothing to worry about because they are with her. She promises to explain everything later and orders them to stop asking questions. Zainab informs Sevim that Barak has taken Hayal and Ilkum and left the house in a hurry. She asks Sevim whether she knows where Barak could have gone. At first, Sevim thinks Barak may simply have taken the girls out or dropped them at school. Zainab explains that the girls' belongings are missing from their rooms. Sevim is shocked and wonders why Barak would run away from her own home. Zainab meets Azra and asks whether Sihan might know where Barak went since he spoke to her that morning. Azra explains that Sihan left while she was still sleeping, so she has not spoken to him. Serhat eventually returns to the house. Zainab tells him that she has been trying to reach him because something very important has happened. Serhat looks pale and shaken. Instead of immediately asking what happened, he apologizes to Zainab. She does not understand why he is apologizing. Then she notices the blood covering his hands. Alarmed, Zainab quickly gets the first aid kit and begins tending to his wounds. She asks whether he got into a fight. Serhat tells her that he found Barak's lover. Zainab goes pale. Then Serhat tells her that he killed Barak's lover. Zainab refuses to believe that Serhat could do something like that, but Serhat insists that he did. Zainab begins crying. Serhat asks her not to cry. He reminds her that he warned her that he was not good for her and that she should never fall in love with him. Now, he says, he has already made her cry. He asks Zainab to keep the promise she made to him. Even if he had 100 hearts, she should not give him even one of hers. Zainab tells him she will not. She says she would never love someone as irresponsible, thoughtless and stupid as him. She then urges Serhat to leave before anyone sees him. As far as she is concerned, he was never there and she never saw him. But Serhat refuses to run. He says he will tell his daughters the truth and then turn himself into the police. He tells Zainab that he would like to entrust Hayal and Ilkum to her, but he knows he has no right to ask something like that from her. Before Serhat leaves, Zainab finally tells him what she had been desperately trying to say. Barak took Hayal and Ilkum, and she does not